And, of course, the winners of that will move on to Championship Sunday. Anna Bright and James Ignatowich coming off a great upset over Anna Lee, Waters, and Ben Johns earlier on Championship Court. And Thomas Wilson and Catherine Parenteau, we got to watch here on Grandstand 1, coming out on top against Tyson McGuffin and Leah Jensen. So both of these teams looking to punch their ticket into the semifinals with a win here in this match. So a lot riding on this. I'm sure both of these teams would like to clinch their spot and not have to depend on their third match, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, with round robin, there's so many different ways that it can turn out. You can have three teams tied and then have to go into the kind of the head-to-head tiebreakers or the points won and lost tiebreakers. You don't want it to get to that. You want to control your own destiny.
Right.
So we got to watch Wilson and Parenteau's first match. I felt like they won because they were a little more aggressive. Mm-hmm. Tyson and Leah played some slower points and gave Thomas some time. I don't think Anna Bright and James Ignatowich are going to give them that kind of time. I feel like Bright and Ignatowich are so aggressive. This is going to be a faster-paced match.
Yep. Parenteau speeding up early on here at Ignatowich. Good job by him getting out of the way, letting that ball sail. Good cross-court dink from Ignatowich, and if you have not watched Ignatowich play, watch his feet. He is non-stop. He's got happy feet.
Also watch his two-handed backhand dink, how aggressive it is. Like just aggressive topspin and just aggressive going sideways. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if Thomas can take advantage and hit some ATPs off of the Ignatowich dink.
Yeah, Parenteau getting what she wanted there on a high forehand, but just overcooks it. Didn't put enough shape on that ball to get it down.
Exactly. No shape, all power.
And for the viewers, when we say shape, we're talking about putting a little topspin on that ball to make the ball come back down, as we saw Wilson with his forehand there, putting nice shape on the ball, bringing that ball down. Yeah, there's that cross-court dink you were just talking about. Wilson trying to go at Bright, but she was ready with a counter.
Yeah, and to me, that ball is an ATP if Thomas just starts running sideways.
Yep. He took it kind of early. Good spot there from Ignatowich going down the center. Parenteau was a little further back from the line, maybe anticipating a speed up.
These two guys, Ignatowich and Wilson, two of the guys with the best put-away power on tour. They don't hit a lot of extras when they get the easy ones. So over on center court, we have JW and Georgia Johnson are up 9-8 on Riley Newman and Vivian David in game 3. That's about as close as it's getting.
Yeah, good read from Bright, noticing that Parenteau was in a little bit of trouble trying to dig from her feet, and so she slid across the court there, anticipating the pop-up, and was able to capitalize. Great initiated there by Parenteau and put away by Wilson.
Yeah, Catherine got the first two of them down.
Right.
And then, so the defense had to go up, and then Thomas was able to put away the high one.
Looks like Wilson couldn't see that ball. He wasn't able to use his power on that overhead. I think he was completely blind. Yeah, he's pointing up at the sun. That's why you saw that awkward kind of overhead that he just barely kind of tapped it because he couldn't see it.
You can just look at his shadow. I mean, he's looking straight into the
Yep.
sun.
Yep. Oh.
So the last update, Riley and Vivian were down 9-8, but it looks like they came back and won that match on center court.
Just feels like we're going to have a lot of three-game matches, right, with these teams. So evenly matched. Every team good at making adjustments.
And again, another really tough first-round match. I mean,
yeah,
J-Dub and Georgia versus Riley and Vivian.
That's typically like a semifinal, at least quarterfinal match in a kind of typical format.
That's the fun of this tournament. It's only the best.
Yep. That ball did not bounce on that serve. I saw a few of those yesterday during singles day.
Well, there's 40 holes in that ball, and if it makes contact with the ground, you can get some funky bounces.
Bright upset with herself, just feeling like she was not patient enough there.
Well, even if she
in the
makes
wrong
it,
spot.
though, Catherine's paddle was sitting there waiting on it.
Yep, it's that cross-court speed up that we talked about that is risky. Great shot from Bright. Seeing the opening down the middle.
And that opening is created when Thomas runs around the backhand.
Exactly.
He's over on his sideline. The middle opens.
Yeah, for the viewers out there that, maybe you like to run around your backhand and you're watching Thomas Wilson, and you're like, I can do what Thomas Wilson does. And there is risk involved when you do that because you leave a good amount of the court open.
Yeah, so a good time to do that is when you're playing with a lefty.
Yeah, yes.
Or if you're as quick as Thomas.
Exactly.
And can
if you are fast.
Recover.
Foot fault. Unfortunate there for Wilson. He had an easy put away, but.
Well, of course it's easy if you step in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. Every put away would be easy, right? Just walk up to the net. Oh, just out.
It's 2 points in a row, just ending. The net court's deciding the outcome.
Yep.
Just a great first drive from Thomas. He got below the level of the net, and then he knew the next volley has to come up.
Has to come up, yep.
And he pounced.
Oh.
Really enjoy watching Ignatowich hit overheads.
Yeah.
Usually you don't have to watch him hit 4.
Right.
Usually it's only 1. That's got to be tough for Anna. Like, it's over her head, and she's a great tennis player, can run back and hit that. But if you don't get out of James' way, you're going to get hit really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, Wilson trying to run around that backhand again, as we've mentioned. Loves to do that, but just leaves it short, trying to dink at Bright.
Definitely the most competitive game 1 we've had out of the 3 matches we've done so far today.
Yeah, great job from Wilson moving that ball around as Ignatowich and Bright were trying to defend deep behind that baseline. Great point.
I love those long dink mixed doubles points. They're just so much better than the men's long dink rallies. Not so much fun. Mixed doubles, I love those. Thomas. I mean, such an athletic, just to get there, and then he hit the perfect reply to the net cord that was so close. Anna Bright just couldn't have the angle to get it over.
Yeah, and for the viewers out there, if you get a net cord like that or a very short dink that is tight to the net, what you want to do is go back the same way, nice and tight to the net. You don't want to try to push that ball because then you'll be caught trying to get out of the kitchen. Yeah, great speed up from Parenteau catching Ignatowich. We have the semifinals later on tonight. Right now, Wilson and Parenteau with a slight lead in game 1, 9-7, trying to get to that game point.
It's been a very close game 1, though, so this 9-7 lead feels huge.
Yes, and we get the side out here. Great job by Ignatowich going up the line on Parenteau, setting himself up for the put away. Just a little too much from Wilson.
He just Thomas hadn't quite got there, and just his feet weren't set.
Great counter from Bright. Wilson just left it a little too far over to the backhand side, allowing her to load up her counter. Tied up at 9. Now it's 9-9-2. Wow, that's a great shake and bake.
Well, what I told myself to look at the serve depth and return depth on that point. Serve depth was average. Return depth was poor, and
Right.
which allowed for a nice attackable ball, which is not what you want to give Anna or James at 9-9.
Right, allowed Anna to drive that ball and Ignatowich crash in for the shake and bake.
Much better return depth there. Thomas had about 6 shots before he put it away. He had a little more sun issues and just kept it in and then kept staying aggressive. Thomas sped up from about 5 feet behind the kitchen line there, and that's not going to work against Anna Bright. She's got her hands are too fast.
I think Wilson got what he wanted there.
Yeah, he got a short return, which he crushed, and then got 2 looks at volleys that he just didn't quite put away, which is, to James and Anna's credit, just defend one more ball.
Game point.
Game point number 2.
Wow.
Such good drives. You can't give them anything drivable. You have to prevent their quality drive.
Yep.
And if you don't, you suffer. I formation briefly.
Good shot there from Parenteau.
Gotten just enough topspin to bring that thing down at the end. It looked like it was going to fly.
Yep. I think Bryant and Ignatowich thought it was going to sail, but came back down. Big serve.
I can tell when Thomas is angry because he flips the ball over the net to the other team between points. That is a big serve.
Yeah, just too much Ignatowich there. Great job defending.
I mean, Thomas defended a net cord drop that was just, those are impossible, and he defended it well, and then James just kept coming.
Yeah, and then he attacked Ignatowich. Ignatowich did a good job defending with the backhand, and then able to put it away with a forehand. Good job by Ignatowich, just continuing to apply pressure at Parenteau as she was in the transition. Not trying to attack her, but just putting the ball down at her feet, forcing her to hit up.
I mean, Ignatowich right now, he's kind of in that I'm on fire mode.
Yep.
And if I'm playing against him, I am going to do whatever I can. Don't let him touch the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Just you don't have to beat him. Just play his partner. But it's hard to keep it away from him because he's a giant. He can cover everything. So easier said than done. It's a tough spot at that height.
Yeah.
He's hitting it so hard. I don't know if I want to reach up to touch any of them.
Yeah.
Could be flying.
Probably going out, but it's right at your body. It's so tough to get out of the way.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to make that call.
Full throttle right now from Ignatowich and Bright.
Yeah, and no reason not to keep it going.
Yep, it's working. If it's working, you keep doing it.
Keep your foot on the gas.
Fortunate there for Wilson. He had a very short return, allowed Ignatowich to come up and attack, but clipped the net, sails wide.
Yeah, and I don't think, for Thomas and Kazar, I don't think the answer is, oh, let's just soften it up and slow it down. Not really. I think it's, hey, let's let Thomas just attack them back.
Right.
Get offensive first.
Yeah, for the viewers out there, one of the things that you have to adapt to in a match, right, is realizing, are my opponents wanting to speed up first, or are they wanting to counter? And if they're wanting to speed up, then you got to pull the trigger and not allow them to do that and force them to defend your attacks versus constantly allowing them to pull the trigger first, right? So it's just trying to make those adjustments during the match.
Yeah, great point. If your counters aren't working, then you don't want to want to continue getting attacked. There's no win in that.
Yep.
So let me attack first if I can create that opportunity.
Just kind of what Wilson was trying to do there, but a little too low. Good job by Parenteau reading that. She's happy that she let that go. Good read.
That is such a great way of handling all the attacks. Is
right.
If you let it go deep, that will kind of slow people down a little.
Exactly. I've heard that works. I have not tried it myself, but I've heard that is a good strategy.
I wonder if Thomas gets more net cord love just because he's a nice guy.
2-4-1.
Yeah, just not a cleanly hit third. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You got to take the bad with the good.
Yeah,
but
did he
him
say
hitting
I couldn't
forehands
see
is
the ball?
still
I don't know.
on.
I don't know if he said I couldn't see the ball. Again, we don't know if the glare off the white letter, certainly heard that a lot yesterday during singles. So one side you got the sun, the other side you got the glare. Oh, yeah, just too high from Parenteau there.
It's interesting, Dan. What percentage of like the game in all the different tournaments we play is handling whatever the conditions on the court are?
I know. That is.
It's so much more than tennis. If you come from tennis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the wind, of course, is going to affect the pickleball way more than a tennis ball. Tennis ball being so much heavier and not, it's not plastic, of course.
And you have so much more time to see the ball. Visibility is not the issue. In pickleball, you don't have time for that. So if there's anything you can't really that's hindering your vision behind the court.
Wow. Great hands from Ignatowich, but just too much from Wilson and Parenteau. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's especially as you travel to different tournaments, different sites, different setups. The courts are a little bit different everywhere you go. To some extent, they try to make them as consistent as possible. But certainly, if you play amateur level, you deal with a lot of other stuff that the pros.
I just heard one of the fans say, "Let's go, Mad Drops." It did not occur to me that Thomas and Catherine played on the same Season 1 MLP team.
That's true. Great exchange there.
That point only went on about 12 more shots than it could have.
Right.
With James saving pretty much a dead to rights high forehand from Catherine.
Oh, just too good. I mean, the shape on that ball from Ignatowich with pace, just too much.
Did you see the spin on it?
Yeah. It's crazy. Great defense from Wilson and Parenteau. 3-8-2. Yeah, I think Wilson should have driven that ball at Bright as she's trying to make her way up. Instead, he chose to drive it at Ignatowich. He was set. He was ready.
That's exactly right. And it was a good drive, too. It was 2 inches above the net, but James hit a solid volley. But to your point, James was already there, hit it to the person.
I'll climb back into this match. And you got to believe that Ignatowich and Bright coming off of that win over Waters and Johns, not that they're ever lacking in confidence, but certainly having that victory first, just, you just build on that confidence coming into the second match. And they are playing lights out so far. See an example of that, just quick hands, putaways, great defense, but just great attacks.
Yeah, James is being super offensive, and Anna is supporting him perfectly as well. Because when James jumps off the court, she steps in the middle and handles the business if it comes back.
Yeah, just lightning hands there from Ignatowich. Just too much from Bright and Ignatowich. Taking down Wilson and Parenteau.